game stories, and I'm still really doing that. So people are really the inspiration for my work.
That's wonderful, and I think that's evident in the characters and the depth of the characters that we get to see in your movies. So absolutely, thank you. Also, whether you look at Sojanatha, whether you look at Tamasha, all the films, they often explore a big theme which is around self-discovery. So is that a reflection of your own personal journey?
It has to be. A lot of things that one does in their own cinema is retrospectively understood. I don't understand while doing it, but I do it in reflex. I do it because I feel like telling the story in. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. There are some challenges happening on this one. And yeah, so I do it, I take the steps as they come to me, I go forward, and eventually, later on, I think, why have I done this? Is there a pattern? A lot of people tell me that in all your films, there is some girl standing on the balcony and some guy is standing on the road looking at her. Why is that the case? A lot of people tell me that there are a lot of journeys. And then, because when I'm at a forum like this, I have to answer questions, I have to cook up some shit. But in trying to create fiction about why I do what I do, sometimes I stumble across the fact also. And then I think that this journey or this theme of self-discovery, if so many of my characters are going through it, I feel that maybe I am also interested in it. I don't know whether I am seeking answers, but I must be, because that becomes a common theme in many of my films. And I don't want to change something which is organically coming to me, so I just keep going on in that direction.
And I think that's a very important lesson for us is as we're on our journeys to be very authentic and be very organic and not very artificial in that sense, right? Just because you think that's what other people may like. So I think that's a very important lesson. But tell me, what in your experience makes a film a true hit? Is it the story? Is it the star cast? Is it the music? The timing of the release? Or is it just something intangible which just resonates with the audience? What have you found to be that mantra?
I feel that it is intangible, but you can reach this intangible not by an outward mathematical calculation, but by an insight into yourself. And to see that the service or the story that you're writing, the film that you're trying to make, is it really a piece of yourself? Is it something authentic? Is it something unique? And is it something that you have and you value within yourself and that you can give to others? I feel if that is the case, then there is a certain power that is unleashed to the process, and people, you yourself start to follow that story or that dream with greater ferocity, and other people also join in with greater enthusiasm, and then you maybe are walking towards something that might be successful because it might resonate with the audience. If it does not resonate with you, if it does not resonate with the people that you're working with, the first circle that forms around you, it has almost zero chances of resonating with the audience. So it's almost like Kabir says that you have to look inward if you want to search for God. In this case, the audience is the God, or I think the service that you do for it is the God.
Absolutely, and in fact, it kind of answered my next question, which was going to be, what does being authentic mean to you? So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we are always thinking about what the audience will want. There are always discussions about abhi to 2-3 films and suddenly a Pathan and a Jawan will happen, and then people will feel that action films of a certain type are working, so all of us should start making action films. Some love stories will work, and then everybody will think that this is what the audience wants, and then we kid ourselves to believe that we are some mathematical or economic analyst, and we will study the trade and all of that and make a strategy of what kind of film to make. But the point is that we are not. We are just drifters and dreamers, and we are getting our daily bread because we tell stories. So we must find out what is the real authentic story that I can tell, which other people can't. What is it that is of interest in me, what is precious in me, and try to take it out. And then it can only be understood. What is precious in oneself, I think, can only be understood by what your interest is. What, what you feel passionately about is what is authentic in you.
And that leads me to the next question. Is you spoke about Jawan and Pathan and etc. And then you're trying to figure out what is the secret mantra. People in the industry kind of do that. So how do you balance the commercial pressures with artistic integrity in a world that basically demands box office numbers? And of course, your films have all met and surpassed any expectation. But even so, how do you kind of balance that?
As I'm saying, you have to focus to what you think is good and authentic. And usually, if you are interested in it, other people will also be interested in it. But you should also listen. So, as much as one believes that filmmaker makes the movie, it's actually the whole community or the whole unit of hundreds and hundreds of people that make the movie together, and it's a very collaborative process. At no point of time, or very few times, am I alone in the process of filmmaking. And one must listen. The most important thing, I guess, for a director to do is to listen, because he is also in front of so many talented people, and for them to flow into the work that the director is doing, the director must listen. And so there will be people that are producers and distributors, and they will be talking about the financial rewards of the film, etc. And the director or the storyteller can see how to help them achieve their ends, because that will also help the filmmaker, because every filmmaker wants their films to be popular. Ultimately, financial reward will be more if the film is more popular.
And you've worked extensively with music in all your films, and they have a very important element to play in all your films. So, how integral is it to your narrative, and how do you think it enhances the characters in your journey of storytelling?
Well, I feel that music is the third dimension. Through music, you can also express poetry. A lot of times in life, what happens is that you can speak the superficial language, you can talk about here and now, but maybe something is happening in your heart, in your mind, which you cannot express, but which is more important than what conversation is happening. And that is what becomes music. The third element, what's happening in your heart, what is happening in the atmosphere, what is the real truth, that kind of thing. And music is a very important thing for Indian cinema, because I feel that Indian people are very philosophical, and they will never be satisfied if the film is philosophically lacking. Unlike any other country, I feel, even if the film is just comedy or just an action thriller, one will find that as compared to other cinema in the world, every Indian film will have an ounce of philosophy, which is very authentic. We don't feel satisfied without it. So, in order to bring a certain philosophical status to the film, songs play a big part. You will see that very popular songs from Indian films, firstly, they outlast the film itself. Songs live longer than films. Secondly, they talk about very philosophical things. The very, very popular romantic films or action films also will have songs that are so philosophical. I feel that the unique selling point of India, apart from variety,